So welcome guys to another TN podcast, and yeah, Ghana lost our first game at the AFCON 2023, and it's not it's not pleasant. It's not. It's the nature. It's painful, and it's the nature of the win, the loss. Sorry, considering the Black Stars equalized in the second half after going down in the first half, and we thought this was going to be one of those great comebacks, especially based on the performance. It wasn't exactly a bad performance. There were snippets in there that you would see good signs from a good team that wanted to make things work. But it just didn't happen for Chris Hughting and the Black Stars. I thought this was one of the best performances I've seen under Chris Hughting, and that goes to show how bad we've been. But I look at the setup. I've seen a number of comments on the players who started the game. I think the only issues that I had would be Konsdorfer starting, because I didn't think he was ready for this game. I was very surprised when I saw him start. A lot of people were asking why did he didn't start. Amate was dropped. He's a regular starter for the Black Stars. He was dropped. Alexander Jiku, partnered Salisu, and Jiku was phenomenal. We'll talk about Jiku later. In a double pivot, this time it wasn't two defensive midfielders. It was Baba Idrisu, who is a more solid number 6, and Ashimeru. And I thought I saw a bit of spark from the midfield. Ashimeru pulling strings left, right, center. The only issue was the man ahead of these two, and that was Ransford Yeboah. We'll talk about him, but there was also Jordan Ayew on the left. There was Joseph Pinto, who was very lively, in today's game, and he was also very good. And then we had Antoine Semenyo. What a performance! I liked him. I liked what I saw. He was lively. He was pacey. He was decisive with his crosses or passes or whatever he did, and that's what you want to see. And then of course there's a goalkeeper, Richard Ofori. People questioned why Atizigi wasn't in post, but Atizigi has conceded so many goals, in his time as the number 1 for the Black Stars. I just didn't see Richard Ofori starting, and it just goes to show that our goalkeeping department is really bad, and so whoever is called on, I can't really be bothered, because they are all the same level for me, to be honest. People say Richard Ofori is worse because he's not starting for Orlando Pirates. Well, Atizigi is starting wherever he is, and is he any better when he's in post? We are still shipping in goals, aren't we? And so, but again, you would see Richard Ofori make very good saves in the second half. That those saves, had he not made them, Cape Verde would have actually taken a lead and won the game very, very comfortably. They did so in the end, but it would have been much earlier, maybe a lot more devastating to the Black Stars. And so, yeah, Richard Ofori partly was at fault for the goal, the first goal that Cape Verde scored, parrying the ball into the path of this goal scorer. But you see, the thing is, in that split second, very top-class goalkeepers would make the right decision in those few seconds, milliseconds, that is. He isn't a top-class goalkeeper. In Africa, he's not rated anywhere in the top 5. So I understand why people would make the complaints, but it wasn't entirely his fault. The goal scorer made the reaction. His reaction was good. It was snappy. What about our defense? We're both watching. And so you can't really blame Richard Ofori there, although he was partly to blame there. Okay, so let's look at Ransford Yeboah. Lots of people, criticizing him. I don't blame him too much. He didn't put himself up there. He's not ready for a game of this magnitude to start, but we decided to play him. The coach decided to start him, and that was good because, in the game against Namibia, the last friendly, he was lively. But I think an AFCON game came too soon for him, especially for a start. I'd have expected him to come in later at some point. He was thrown in, and he was expected to create some magic moments, which he couldn't and didn't do. He was to blame for that Ashimeru goal, and that was painful to see because Ashimeru scored a beautiful goal. It was a magnificent goal. And to see that it was ruled out, not for a fault of his own, but for someone else's mistake is rather tough on Ashimeru. But of course, it's part of the rules. We all know the rules, and and you can't really blame Ransford too much, except for the fact that he was about 5 seconds too late running from the back. He should have known better, as a striker, that when the ball is coming back in attack and of course in dangerous areas, you need to play yourself onside, and he was very slow. That is one thing that I would criticize him for. So now let's look at the for me, the players who actually played very well for the Black Stars. Number one for me, and of course CAF judged him man of the match. That was Alexander Djiku. What an excellent performance. It wasn't just because he scored the goal, but did you see how many tackles he put in, last ditch, clearing balls on the line or being the last man? He was everywhere. Alexander Djiku was everything the Black Stars needed. And I if we had one more defender like him or two more at the back, maybe wouldn't have considered a goal today, because Salisu, that second goal, what was he doing? Going for the ball eventually going through his legs. He's supposed to be our best defender. But Djiku is always proving why we don't need to discredit him. Djiku has proven himself over and over again. The last AFCON, he was the defender that was carrying the ball, the only man that was trying to create something, and he was a defender. And so it tells you just how good Djiku is, and I rate him really, really high. Majid Ashimeri was really good. He was immense. The goal that was ruled out was painful, but he didn't drop his shoulders. He still played very, very good football. His passes were intricate. I think I counted about 240 passes. Besides that, he was really, really good with the ball, trying to create space, trying to find his teammates, and also very good with the tackles and understanding with Babayi Idrisu as well. And if he continues to play like this, I see a big decision for Chris Hughton going forward, and I'm sure you know what I mean, because there is Kudus going to come back. Salis is always knocking on the door. Thomas Partey, when he comes back, is a first choice. And it will be really, really important and crucial to see where Ashmeri will play if he gets to start. And I think that he really, really played some really good football. Joseph Pinto was also good on the right. He was pacey. He was decisive. I like to see a winger try to take on his man, and that's what Joseph Pinto gave us. And so if he continues like that, then we will continue to create chances from the wings. We didn't see too much on the left from Jordan Ayew, but when Enes Nyama came in, what a player. We'll get to the substitutions, but that just gives you an indication of what we saw with the starting 11. But let me not forget Antoine Semenyo. Antoine was really good, and it was the number of incursions he made. Sometimes, drifting to wide areas to help the wingers, sometimes staying in the box. He wasn't always in the box, though, when you needed a striker, but he was trying to create as well for others. And I remember that second half opportunity he created after taking on his man, beating his man, and then finding Joseph Pinto on the far post, who just couldn't convert. And I thought that was a brilliant chance created by Semenyo. I see why Chris Hughton will start him over Iñaki Williams. Iñaki is good. I like him. But Semenyo, for now, is more lively, and he has given us what we are looking for. Now, if anyone talks against Chris Hughton after this game, it won't be necessarily for the selections, but also for the subs. What was he thinking? What was he doing? Taking off Antoine Semenyo, very lively. Taking off Joseph Pinto, very lively. And bringing on Iñaki Williams and Andre Ayew. Now, these were two players who came in, slowed the game down a tad. They weren't beating their men. They weren't taking on too many people. And so that limited the number of chances we're creating. We're restricted to long balls and crosses that weren't finding anyone. And I thought maybe if Semenyo had stayed on just a little while longer, maybe we could have created a lot more chances, especially with the introduction of Enes Nyama. And I think that these are some of the decisions. And Salis, when he came on, wasn't doing anything better than Ashimeri. I thought Ashimeri was even better than Salis. So these are some of the things that Chris Hughton needs to take note of. His in-game decisions needs to go up a notch, and in this game it was lacking. He didn't give us the dugout magic that we expect from top coaches. He rather made decisions that kept us looking into each other's faces wherever we were watching the games. So that's another thing that I took out of this particular game. Listen, if the Black Stars will win any match in this game, in this tournament, I'll be really, really surprised, because we couldn't beat Cape Verde, and we have to beat Egypt, the record winner of the AFCON. And they have dropped points in their first game. They would definitely want to prove a point in the subsequent games. I don't know if they're able to do that, but of course they'll be coming out all guns blazing. Should we be able to stop them, it means we need to be on our A game. And I don't see the Black Stars on their A game anytime now, especially in those tournaments, because what we've seen in this Cape Verde game wasn't really a bad performance, like I said, but do we have the end product that is able to, seal wins? Are we able to be solid at the back as well? The mistake in Salisu was one that I didn't expect. We all went on our knees to beg him, only for him to do that. And yeah, so we need to win our games, and we need to beat Egypt, and we need to also beat the other team that tried to stop Egypt and nearly did that, Mozambique. All the best to us, and hopefully we're able to do that. But yeah, it won't come easy. It will definitely be a very difficult one to do if we say we want to beat the next two opponents in front of us, and that definitely makes the job a lot more difficult, considering we also want to change our fortunes when it comes to the Africa Cup of Nations. There's so much pressure now on the team. Are they able to? Do they have the confidence? Do they have the personality and the character to be able to bounce back with wins and positive results? Genuinely, I don't see that. And it hurts my heart to say that I don't see that. But yes, I don't see it. So yeah, and remember that this is actually the fourth tournament since 2017, or the third tournament, so 2019, 2021, and then this 2023, and we are yet to win from open play. My God. The last time the Black Stars won from open play was way back in 2017. Hey. And you see, I don't see us doing it. And that is a difficult part, because there's no clear path. There's no clear signs that the Black Stars are on their way to winning things. And that is a scary thought. That is a scary part of this whole thing. I think that a lot of people didn't have confidence, going into this tournament. And they are proving it. They are proving why people shouldn't have confidence in them, because, they played decently against Cape Verde. But if you're unable to beat Cape Verde, don't give me any excuse. Don't give me any stories. If you're unable to beat Cape Verde, how do you inspire any confidence in the support base that you're able to do better against Egypt? And that is where we are. I mean, our next game is a game that we need to win. We need to make sure we pick up maximum points. But are we able to do that? It's crazy, isn't it? When results like this happen, then people start blaming, other players who aren't in the tournament or aren't in the squad. So Partey has been mentioned. Kudus has been mentioned a lot for his commitment. It's not exactly his fault when he picks up injuries. They are questioning the timing of his reporting to the camp. It's a lot you can say, it's a lot you can do, but Kudus is not going to solve our problem. Our problems go way deeper than Kudus. Kudus comes in here and we play a draw, we drop points, and people are still going to be talking about how he's not passing the ball earlier or whatever he doesn't do or does wrong. For me, I think the problems run a lot deeper than Kudus. We need to find players with character that come into this tournament or come into this team and are able to, fight for the shirt, fight for the flag, fight for the country. And that's what we are not seeing now. And it's going against the country. And it's going against the teams. And if we are unable to continuously find those big characters in the team, we'll definitely continue to suffer. Chris Hughton is maybe slowly finding players who understand his philosophy, if he has a philosophy, because currently I don't see any philosophy. I don't see any strategy. I don't see any game plan. I just see 11 players who are professionals and know how to pass a ball, know how to find each other when they want to and when they can. And really, that's just about it with the Black Stars. Hopefully we're able to bounce back. I don't want to be all negative in this particular podcast or in this episode. What I want to do, though, is to let you know what the facts are. And what I saw in this team, with this team, wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And hopefully we're able to bring our A game, to the table in the next match. Until then, you will see other content right here on this page. Remember to like and also to turn on your notifications and to subscribe to this page. That's the only way we also, are able to produce fresh, new, great content for you. Hopefully you did like this one. Leave your comments as well. I would like to read them. And I'll catch you in the next episode.